Hello, everyone. Oh, I'm very small there. Let me fix that. There we go. Good morning. Good morning. How are we? Hello, Jack from Stockholm. Christian, what are we building? That is a great question. I've got a couple of ideas. I think we might just continue a little bit with what we did last week, kind of just playing a bit with GitHub Actions. But equally, when like you've built something and your brain just kind of starts whirring away in the background. For anyone who's kind of been tuning in over the past few weeks, we've been building this we've been building an MCP server to kind of play turn-based games like tic-tac-toe, rock, paper, scissors. And we've got an app where we kind of visualize that board. And I've been thinking, we're doing it in 2D, but it'd be really cool to do something in 3D. So in the last 30 minutes, just before going live, I started kind of using Copilot to build something. So we'll take a look at that as well, because it's just kind of fun to show what we managed to build so quickly, I guess. I'll kind of talk you through the process of how I got there. As normal, I don't get there kind of first time. I kind of iterate on what I do, iterate on the prompts, iterate on the thoughts, get rid of some of the things that I made and then retry, etc. So I'll talk through that a bit as well. But yeah, I think it's kind of between those two pieces. So we'll look a bit more GitHub Actions just in general. We'll do a bit on that kind of 3D visualizing bit as well for the tic-tac-toe game particularly is what I started on this morning. So that's the plan. So carrying on then, who else have we got here this morning? And thank you for the question, by the way, Christian. Hello, Kamesh. Yeah, indeed, the Rubber Duck. We are a big fan of the Rubber Duck Thursdays. Come and join us, same time, same place. You guessed it, every Thursday. And we do a stream as well at 2 p.m. Eastern, so Eastern Standard Time, or Eastern Time, I guess, when Daylight Savings comes around. And my colleagues in America stream there as well for us. So who else have we got? Hello, Mighty? Is that your name? Or anyway, hello from Venice. Great place. I've nearly been. I went nearby on a holiday once, but didn't quite make it to Venice. Still on my list to go. So yeah, welcome. And Kamesh, yep, we've talked through what we're going to be doing here. So please hang around, and please, if you're working, feel free to have me on another screen. If you want to follow along and do some stuff as well, I'll bring up some links and show you some bits along the way as well. Jack, just listening. Great. And that's equally fine, just kind of listening and just having someone to kind of co-work with. This stream is very chilled deliberately. So no matter what you want, if we just want to talk a bit of tech, if you just want to watch me kind of code and get things wrong along the way, because we definitely do that. That is absolutely what we're here for. So yeah, welcome. Shazib, hi everyone. MPLIK. I think that's like a little ghost emoji or something. Don't quite know. Let me know what it was. Vansh, greetings. Michael, good morning, Michael. Flame, hello, young man. Hello. Matassa, hello. Stephen, hello. First time. Good. First time. Well, welcome. For anyone who is here first time, Rubber Duck Thursdays is a stream that we do every week. So I do this kind of European-friendly time zone stream, and we also have some folks in America who do another stream later on in the day. So 2 p.m. Eastern is typically the time we go live there. And the intent is we just have very kind of low planning in terms of what we're going to do going into the stream. We have some loose ideas. Then we build things live, we try things out, and we just, have fun building stuff. That's really the vibe of this time we have together. So yeah, please stay around and please come and join us again on a regular basis. We've got a good few regular faces and names that we see come back week on week, and we do like to see that. So let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know, most importantly, what are you working on at the minute? And obviously, this is a public chat, so don't share any kind of secrets or anything, but what fun things are you working on right now? I'm always inspired by all things that you're doing as well. So let me know, what kind of What are the fun projects where you've registered the domain name and maybe you have started the work, or maybe you've just, you've registered the domain name, you haven't quite started the work yet, it's on the backlog, or maybe you've just got some other side project that you're working on there as well. So, Stephen, hello. Surinder, hi. Marwan, hi. Rahul, hello. Mohammed, hello. Mohammed as well. Avamsi, Asnawa, Ragwendra, LinkedIn user. You said hi, everyone. I don't see your name, sadly, but hello to you. Sanawa, hello. Zhao, hello from Brazil. Must be very early there right now. Ganga, hi. Mohammed. Lots of first timers here with us today. Great. Well, really glad you're all here with us. And yes, thank you. They always do get a good mention from folks in the chat. So yes, thank you. This is great. Hi, everyone. Good morning, Tame Craziness. Good to see you back. Hope you're doing good. Dhruv, Rahul. Interesting. So, Krista, as a software engineer, I was initially skeptical about AI, but I soon realized it let me build projects I wouldn't otherwise have time for. One from the project I built with LLMs is a small Go agent that monitors the camera feed from my 11-month-old son's room and detects when he wakes up. We even created a simple HTML and JavaScript app to serve as a mask editor for the agent. It works seamlessly, sending me a WhatsApp message and pushing a Home Assistant notification to both me and my wife. There's so much goodness in all of that. Like, kind of having something which detects in the kind of video stream, I guess. Having an app that you can kind of mark the area that you want to care about, sending the integration off to Home Assistant as well. It's a great story. I love that. And I agree with you. I think, that's what I found is we call it deactivation energy. So the kind of amount of effort it takes to kind of get started with something. I've found personally that it's a lot lower when I'm using these kind of AI tools like Copilot. So, that amount of effort for me to go, should I start that thing? I'm more inclined to start doing that now because I don't have to think of every single nut and bolt of the code that I'm writing, and I can think more architecturally and kind of get started a bit quicker. So, yeah, I've kind of found similar in terms of getting going on those things. Good evening, Karthik. Welcome. Missal, hello. Stefan. And great. I'm glad to hear the excitement, Stefan. Thank you for being with us. Vansh, open source projects from India. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. What open source projects are you working on? Let us know. Let us know. This is a great initiative. Well, thank you, Fatma. This is kind of just here for the community, right? Just a place to hang out, to talk, to chat, and just do what we all like doing best, which is kind of coding and building things. Taya from India, Sundram Nizar, software tester, great. Christian from Denmark. Work on marketing mix modeling, so classical machine learning, amazing. I did an MBA over the last few years, so the whole kind of marketing side is particularly interesting to me. I really like that whole kind of strategy piece, so I can very clearly see how that would relate with the machine learning side as well. So thanks for sharing that. Hello, Nizar, first time as well. Amazing. We've got so many folks here for the first time today. I love this. Hardeep, you're exploring MCP deeply and building agents. Great. Well, you might be interested in a little bit of what we're doing here today. We're not going deep with MCP, but I will show you a blog that I wrote last week. I think we published it, or the week before. Either way, very recently. I've got another blog post coming out today, later today actually, all about a feature of MCP called elicitation. So stay tuned for that one. It'll be on the GitHub blog. But I'll show you the existing one that's come out there as well. Say my name. Okay, Devashish, hello. There we go. You've got your call out. Tabika Marwam from Pakistan, currently working on a mortgage project. Hopefully that's like something to like manage mortgages rather than like having to pay off the mortgage. Life. Currently a student, Yogesh, great. Well, I'm glad you're here to learn with us as well. Thank you for being with us. Working on a product idea, it's the kind of pain I feel over the last decade, now working on its solution and looking for potential collaboration. Those are the best kinds of projects I find, where you've got a real vested interest. I think for me, I need to be motivated on solving that problem, whatever it is. And so problems like that, where it clearly benefits me and potentially others, is great. And I've given them shout outs before, but the folks at Home Assistant, like Paulus, that was the way he started Home Assistant. He just wanted to automate some smart lights to kind of turn off and on when, like above sunrise or sunset, etc. And then it became this platform that it is today. So you never know what's, what you're going to kind of go and journey on. Right. Wonderful. So let's do what we normally do, which is taking a look at the latest GitHub announcements. And I'm going to have my tea with me here, just because you might have already heard a little bit of my voice. I've been suffering a bit with a cold this week, so I'm kind of okay today. But still, I know my voice is a little bit weaker than normal, so apologies if I have to pause or go on mute or anything. So just apologies in advance for that. And excellent. Yes, please go get some sleep, Joe. 2 a.m. That is some great effort to join us. But yes, join the one at 2 p.m. Eastern. And of course, you can watch this back as well on LinkedIn, YouTube, etc. Cool. So what has come out since last week? GitHub Copilot and Visual Studio, an August update. So GPT-5 model support, MCP support is now generally available. Smarter Copilot chat with better context. Bring your own model, that's cool. Sign up with Google, cool. And greater control over Copilot suggestions. So good quality of life updates if you're a Visual Studio user. Oh, I think I must have clicked it twice, my bad. Let's see, what else have we got? GPT-5 Mini is now available in public preview in Visual Studio, JetBrains, IDs, Xcode, and Eclipse. So again, more model choice there, which is great to see. Improvements to the Home dashboard available in public preview. So testing some improvements to test the content and layout of the Home dashboard, designed to enable users to understand the current status of their most important work, navigate to it quickly from a single view. So default view now shows a short customizable list of pull requests and issues. Feed view is still available. This view is enabled for a subset of users to start and rolling out to more over time. Cool. So you get this nice kind of heads up of what you're working on there and what's coming up. Great. Good to see that. What else have we got? Start and track Copilot coding agent tasks from Raycast. Cool. So if you use Raycast, you can now go, as it said, start and track your Copilot coding agent tasks from there. So yeah, that's pretty nice. That's pretty cool. Good stuff there. Love to see it. Copilot coding agent now supports the agents.md custom instructions. So in case you haven't seen, agents.md is now like kind of becoming, I guess, a standard of ways that you can go and provide your instructions to agents across different editors. So Copilot Coding Agent now supports that. The IDEs do not yet. It's a question I've seen come up a lot. So stay tuned for more on that, like Copilot in the IDEs. So like VS Code, etc., etc. But currently, Copilot Coding Agent does. So yeah, good to see that update there. Added support for WebP images. Got to give a shout out to my boss Martin, because I know he was a advocate of this one getting in, and great to see what sound like very easy changes. As we all know as devs, can sometimes have some some complex changes on the back end. But But either way, they've brought support for WebP, which is great, across issues, discussions, pull requests, gists there as well. WebP rendering for the repos, blobs and gists as well. So again, love to see it. Love to see it. Good quality of life update. On my personal blog, I'm pretty sure I try and just use WebP as much as I can. Kind of. Caveating that, kind of. My blog is written in Hugo, or kind of built on top of Hugo, and I have a Hugo kind of pipeline which converts other images into WebP, so I always serve them in that efficient format. So yeah, definitely sidetracking here, but there we go. This is why we love these kind of streams. Right, Copilot's next edit suggestions is now in JetBrains IDEs. So next edit suggestions has been available for a while in Visual Studio Code. I think, is it in Visual Studio as well? I can't quite remember. Someone else might know who uses Visual Studio a bit more. If you do, let me know. But either way, public preview for JetBrains IDEs. So it gives you the opportunity to see kind of multiple suggestions as you go through and kind of have this tab experience. So it's very nice, very, very nice. So JetBrains IDEs now has that in public preview. So good to see that. GraphQL API resource limits. What is this about? Okay, so there's more limits being introduced to safeguard resource consumption. Quite limited on what can be shared on that, I guess. What I see here. So okay, there's some more resource kind of limits on GraphQL APIs is what's worth being aware of. Improved notifications and security campaigns. So starting today, devs with write access to repos in security campaigns will receive email notifications without needing to subscribe. Okay, cool. Some more visibility there. Update license-based budgets to accept license counts. Okay, so instead of just specifying dollar amounts, now on the kind of budgeting side of things, if you're using GitHub, for your organization, your enterprise, then now with your budgets, you can now budget based on a number of licenses as opposed to like a dollar amount or a monetary amount. So great, good to see that. What else? CodeQL 2.20.2.4, add support for Go 125. Rust enhancements there as well. And then Java Kotlin as well. Some query changes. So again, some good quality of life updates with CodeQL there. And then Copilot code review, finally. Path scope to custom instruction. Oh, this is cool. I like this. Love that. That is big, actually. So in case you didn't know, and I'm going to come back full screen for this, when you use GitHub Copilot, there's a thing called custom instructions, and that allows you to steer how Copilot kind of does its work, basically. So what are your kind of practices? So like, I don't know, when you've made your changes, run this build, run this test. We use snake casing, for example, whatever it may be. So you can specify those conventions to Copilot, and he'll take that as context when it's kind of working. The interesting thing with custom instructions is there's kind of two types, which are kind of becoming more normal now. You've got the Copilot-instructions file, which is the one that lives under the .github folder. That is like a global one. So whenever Copilot's working, like in Copilot chats, agent mode, coding agent, Copilot code review, it'll take that context and kind of use that. But for a little while in Visual Studio Code, and then more recently in Coding Agent, and now in Copilot Code Review, it looks like, is you have these kind of instructions files which live in a subfolder. And then you can use a glob to kind of target what path that applies to. So you can be more granular in the instructions. So if you've got, say, like an MVC style application, a model view controller kind of architecture, and you want certain patterns to be used for your models, or you want to go and have like some kind of service-based architecture, and you want to make sure that certain conventions apply when you're using services, or you've got, I don't know, a monorepo with loads of different languages in it, and you want to target based on the language, like the file extension. You can now do that with these kind of instruction files. And this is why I'm really excited about it for Copilot Code Review, because now what that means is, as those, I guess, those files change, you can then target that specific guidance for those changes. So that is pretty cool. I'm going to have to give that a go. Probably not today in this stream anyway, because I know we've got some things we want to run through and walk through. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that one. That's great. Wonderful. So let's catch up with the chat. So Ming, I see a smiley face. Love that. Thank you. Mohammed, I see a What was the about? I don't know when that would have quite come in. Let me know. By following you, we apply what we call technology watch. As in you're kind of watching what I do with technology, or I'm not following. Let me know. Tamed craziness. Any updates to the premium models daily limits now that Opus limits from Claude were increased? By the way, I have the GitHub Copilot Pro plan. I can't remember what models were available on Pro compared with Pro Plus, so apologies in advance, Tamed craziness, but I don't have a great answer for you on that one. I wouldn't want to steer you down the wrong direction, but at least in the changelog, there was nothing there in terms of changes, etc. But I can't say I heard of anything in terms of changes on that front. Obviously, if anything changes, we'll talk about it in these streams. But I'm not aware of anything, I'm afraid, at the moment on that one. Cool. Well, there we go. Right. Let me show you what I was working on a little bit before we went live. And let me do this. Right. Here we go. Let me bring up my screen. So, many of you who have been tuning in for the last few weeks will be familiar with this app. A turn-based game app where we can go and play against an MCP server. So let me just go and create a new chat. So we could go and specify tic-tac-toe, 2D, and you can see what I've been doing. Oh, my camera has frozen. Bear with me. All right, we're back. There we go. Okay, so as I was saying, we've had this 2D version for a while, and you can go and play against, an MCP server. There's a way that we could use like Copilot to go and play. So let's play an existing game. Quite a vague prompt. Let's see if it figures it out. I can't remember if I started the MCP server, actually. I did, but in fairness, that was such a vague prompt. I don't think that's really fair. So let me try this again. Game of tic-tac-toe. ID is blah. Right, so you can see it's made a tool call here. So it's calling my MCP server, which is what I've got running. So it's going to go continue on that. I'm playing as X. And I'm just going to allow it to go and make those moves, not approve it each time there. So let's jump back, and now we can see the MCP server has made the move. So I'll go make mine. And again, it's just going to use this wait for player move tool. So I'm just going to allow it in this session here. There we go. Yes, we've made the move. Great. And you can see it's just kind of playing that there. So it was on medium, it was fine, whatever. Now, let me just go back to the game list. Let's play another game. Something that I was thinking was, it's a game. 2D is fine. But wouldn't it be cool? 3D. Ooh. So this is kind of what I was working on with Copilot just before going live this morning. So there's obviously things to fix. For example, the X is kind of stood up here instead of just being in the middle. And I'll be honest, I haven't actually tried this yet. I managed to get it to render. I do not know if this is going to work at all. Let's go see. Nothing like testing something live here. So there we go. We'll go and play that game. We'll go and allow that as well. Wonderful. Great. Playing X, I'm playing as O. Great. Did it. There we go. Let's play it as O. Now it's my turn. Go there. And then if we go and wait a moment. Oh no. I didn't mean to click. That was a mistake. That is a mistake. Well, I lost that one. There we go. Well, that's fun. But what I love about this is, we can switch between 2D and 3D, and we still got that same state as well. And this is super, super kind of territory of why do I even need this? Why would I want my MCP server to go and play tic-tac-toe against me or rock, paper, scissors? You don't. I'm a very visual learner. I'm a very visual person. So I thought this could be a kind of fun way to show how MCP works. And so, I kind of thought, hey, let's go and see something in 3D as well. Could make for some fun demos. So yeah, that's kind of where this came in. So you think it's nice standing on its end? Okay. I mean, it would be kind of funny if there was a button to shake the board or something and then make them fall over. But my 3JS is just, not, I wouldn't say I'm an expert by any means at all. So definitely relied on Copilot to help me with this. We did start with rock, paper, scissors as well. But I'll be honest, it didn't really do much. So yeah, I need to go and kind of fix that one separately. That wasn't really one where where it worked yet. So that's kind of what I was working on this morning. So it's kind of fun. Yeah, let me go and kind of show you the process that I took to kind of go through that. Before I do that, I just want to try one thing. Yeah, so I was just trying to see if I could get rock, paper, scissors to play ball, but I don't think it will. Just because of how I've implemented it. Oh, no, maybe I can. Yeah, I can. All right, let me see. Just going to do this off screen a sec, just to check. Hmm. Okay. Doesn't quite work yet. Um, oh no, no, I'm just silly. Rock, paper, scissors. Right. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be working rock, paper, scissors yet, so I need to do some stuff off stream for that one. Just because I don't want to waste our time here that we got together. But I thought this 3D thing was really, really cool. So let me kind of show you again, in case you haven't been tuning in on the past few. And then I'll go back to my blog post that I mentioned before. And then I'll also talk about my blog post that's coming out today. And then we'll move on. That's what we'll do. So, let me find the right page. All right, here we go. So, boop, there it is. Am I taking AI help? Yes, using Copilot, Kankala. So, MCP, Model Context Protocol, is something that helps us, or rather a way that we can kind of interact with AI agents or third-party tools through AI agents consistently. So rather than each kind of agent platform having a different approach, it's a standardized approach to interacting with tools and resources and things like that. And so if I go and bring up the blog, this is one that I wrote. It was August the 22nd, so a couple of weeks ago. I'll zoom out and we'll bring that up on screen. Go. It was this one. If you want to take a look at this blog, there's the link, gh.io/rdt/mcp-blog-1. And what I talk about here is just the foundations of Model Context Protocol, really. This was the stream from a few weeks ago where we did it. Talk about the kind of different architectural components that you need to think about with MCP. So a host, client, and a server. The MCP server is what we built. The host is like Copilot and Visual Studio Code. And then the client is kind of something spun up in VS Code that kind of maintains that connection between the server. There are then some concepts like tools, resources, prompts as well. And this blog post really just dives into what each of those are, gives some kind of video examples of how you use them in Visual Studio Code as well, and then some considerations when you're either using or kind of building MCP servers. So that was the first blog post that I wrote on it. The next one coming out later today is then about elicitation. So if you have a scenario like this where I say, right, we want to create a game, it'll be interesting to see if Copilot figures this one out. There we go, it did. So create a game, very vague prompt, what is it actually, what am I actually asking for as a user? So it figured out that I want to use the create game tool. Great. But when I run that tool, if I'm creating a game of tic-tac-toe, who goes first? What difficulty level? What's my name as a user? So this is what elicitation is just gathering that additional information that's needed. So I want to go second. Name is Chris. There we go. And now we have got that game ID. And because the AI goes first, it should go and make its move, which it did. Wonderful. So then, if I just bring back up that. There we go. Go to TikTok. Joined by ID. Oop. Into 3D. And there we go. So it's Chris's turn. It's my turn. And that's where the AI went. So I'm going to do the next logical thing here. Oh, no, there's definitely a usability thing there where if I accidentally click on a square, I place it on that square when I'm trying to kind of click and hold and turn the camera. There's definitely a bug that I need to go and fix there for sure, because I meant to go and click the middle. So anyway, I've definitely lost this game now. But never mind. Let me go and get rid of the banner here, by the way, so you can see me. I'm guessing it's kind of timed out, so you're going to make a move. I've made one. There we go. Oops. There we go. Good. Oh, this is bad. It's going to go for the center, and it's got two options. Yeah. We're out. This is why you can't play suboptimally when you've coded something to play optimally. So there we go. It made its win there. So there we go. And again, we can see that there as well on this board. So yeah, that's kind of what I was working on this morning, was making that a kind of 3D equivalent. Let me bring something up here and show you. There we go. So this is a fork of the repo that we have set up. So you can see the actual repo over at gh.io/rdt/game-mcp. So if you want to go and take a look at the code, the upstream version doesn't have the 3D stuff yet. This is just what I'm working on in my fork right now. So just FYI, just in case you were kind of looking at it, wondering what's going on. So this is how I kind of kick things off. Whilst I was having breakfast this morning, I just spun up a GitHub issue asking Copilot to go and add an alternative 3D game UI. So I wanted it to use 3JS. I wanted to go and create new pages, add the navigation, some camera controls, etc., etc. Added in what files need to be changed, what kind of needs to be done where, and then Copilot went and did its thing, which then, as we know, creates a pull request that it then goes and starts working on its things. But as you can see from the screenshot, it didn't quite work on the first go, which is okay. I've asked it to do quite a lot in one shot. So, where Copilot works better is when you can be a lot more focused in terms of what you're asking for. So, in fairness, I was asking for quite a lot in one go. So what I've been doing since this morning is I've been kind of iterating back and forth with Copilot on no, not that one. On some bits and pieces. So let me try and find which one it was. I think it was this one. Maybe. Yeah, so here you go. You can see we got to kind of a certain state where we had the tic-tac-toe as separate pages. I wanted to consolidate them, but I wanted to make that view that we saw, that 3D view, the full viewport, kind of width and height, just to make it a really immersive and better experience. Making sure there was a seamless switch between 2D and 3D, when it did some iterations earlier as well, it created a separate lobby. Well, not even a separate lobby. That's unfair. It created another page which duplicated the game listing. So I was just kind of listing out the requirements of what it had done, where I wanted it to get to. So logic duplication should be minimized, etc. So then it went through that, and it did a pretty good job and got us where we needed to get to. So used coding agent to take the kind of the first attempt at it, and then kind of iterated with Copilot agent mode then locally here then as well. Let's see, what else have we got here in the chat? So Dominic, are you working on this application as a way to investigate or evaluate the Copilot interface? Excuse me. So I'm building this app to help people learn what Model Context Protocol is, what MCP is. Because I think a lot of people think of it as just a wrapper around APIs, which is not. It is so much more than that. I'm going to go back full screen here. The MCP server itself, it is code, right? When you saw the computer making moves, that wasn't like an LLM making the moves. That was the MCP server. And in the MCP server, I have implemented, like a random move for easy, some kind of strategy for medium, and then like an optimized, I think like minimax kind of algorithm for hard mode. And so it's not just about wrapping an API and doing kind of request response. These MCP servers, you can kind of build functionality in them as well. So when we go and ask Copilot, hey, can you create a game? What's happening is Copilot understands it has a tool available called create a game. It then takes the context of what I said as a user, passes that to the tool, and then as part of that handoff between the MCP server and Copilot, or the large language model, the agent, there's this kind of process which goes on to identify what information is needed for the tool call, that elicitation step that I mentioned earlier. And then it'll go and, guide me through the UI steps of giving it all the information. Then it will send the request to the backend API, which is just a local API I have running on that local app on my laptop right now. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get across, and why I've built this app is I'm such a visual learner that something like this makes more sense in my mind than thinking of like, looking up a user in a database or something like that. Like I get to see the state of the game evolve as we play the game, right? So it kind of hits a load of those points for me, and that's why I made it. So more about Model Context Protocol and how MCP works, mainly. And actually, it uses that elicitation stuff that I mentioned, which will be coming out in a blog later today. So github.blog, check that out later today. That uses elicitation, which only came out in June in the MCP spec, so it's still very, very new. A lot of the application hosts don't support elicitation yet. So again, it's a way just to kind of keep on the cutting edge of what's kind of coming out with these tools as well, and just make sure I understand it. Because when I'm doing talks and things on this stuff, I want to make sure I've got a good understanding. And that's why I kind of build stuff. Because I find when I'm learning, I need to kind of build things, break things, see how things work to really understand the nuances of how stuff work. And that's just my preferred kind of learning style. So that's why I built it. Great. Love that you like it, Amareza. Thank you. Plain craziness. Camera control and the gravity docks are importantly to share with Copilot when building 3D things worlds. Yeah, and I'll be honest, I've done no work 3D wise. Well, not unless we're talking about like game map creation like 15, 20 years ago, maybe. But it's been a while. I don't even remember what game engine it was, but nothing like in terms of programming anyway. And so, there was a lot that I kind of figured as I prompted it that I just didn't tell it. Like the fact that the noughts and the crosses are all standing up on the board as opposed to lying like flush down, um, was once again that thing that we keep coming back to, importance of requirements. And I didn't specify that. And so there's always this kind of domain expertise that you will have as the dev, as you will have as the pilot, which is so important when you're working with these tools. So it doesn't get rid of that by any means. It's so important that you have that kind of context. And most importantly, you pass that context on to Copilot when you're working with it. So fully agree, tame the craziness. I think there's a lot of relevant information that we could and should pass in. And that's the whole point of this whole context engineering world that we're kind of going into at the moment. Gabriel applauding this, so thank you. Mighty, interesting, and great is your name. Good, thank you. Tao, does the rubber duck have a name? Think so. Maybe we should name it. What would you name the duck? I don't know. But that seems to be a question that keeps coming up, and I need to get the answer to that. So, Ducky's kind of cute, right? Because we've obviously got Copilot, we got Mona. Don't know what the name is for the duck. Yeah. I'm sure our brand team would want to be involved on that one. But yeah, I just kind of call it the duck, Ducky, the duck. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just looking at the time and thinking about how my voice is doing right now, and thinking about what we want to go and do. You want to do some more GitHub Actions? Would that be useful? I don't know if anyone was here last week when we did a bit with GitHub Actions, but we were kind of looking through some of the foundational pieces of it, like what an action is, some of the syntax. We were looking at matrix, like strategies, what that is. We were looking at jobs. I did see a question come in at the end of last time about secrets. So maybe we could take a look at that and how you kind of manage secrets. We could do a little bit around that if you are interested. We could also talk about reusable workflows as well. Or we can just have a bit more Q&A in the chat, because I'm loving how interactive you folks are today. It's great. If you got questions, that is also great. But I don't think we'll leave it running too long today, just because I can feel my voice straining a little bit today with the cold, unfortunately. So yeah, let me know your preferences, and we will head in a direction. While we do that, I'm going to do something, because I'm just curious. I'm going to bring it up on screen as well while we do it. So, here we go. I'm going to just stop the game server there. So, please run the game server and use Playwright to inspect a 3D game of tic-tac-toe. So, it looks like the pieces are standing up on the board as opposed to being placed down flush against the board. Please could you use Playwright to see how that works, and then build a plan to fix it. And I'm not going to necessarily change it, by the way, for the folks who like the pieces stood up, because I agree, it's kind of cool. Just curious. Right, so first we'll go and build. Good place to start there. And I think what I'm going to do, by the way, is just bring this off screen 1 second. I'm going to put Chrome next to that. And I'm going to bring this back up on screen. There we go. Continue. There we go. Right, so it's going and spinning up the instance of the server for us. So hopefully if we now go over to the server, it'll be running. There we go, good. Yes, my instructions were not quite clear enough. Oh no, I didn't want you to go and figure it out that way. Oh, actually, there we go. It's doing what I wanted it to do. It's going to go and start navigating for us. Uh-oh. This ain't going to work. Let me stop this. So ironically, it was trying to navigate in the browser that I've got open for the stream. So we don't want it to do that. Hopefully I don't disappear. There we go. Okay, never mind. Let me see. Never mind. We can't do that one because yeah, that would have navigated me away from the stream and wouldn't be talking to you. But it could have gone and navigated through. So let's just do this. Don't worry about the playwright. Let's now make your changes. Let me see. Currently working on a project which is a virtually try-on application for clothing stores, or a middle person or platform, I would say. The users create their own models using prompts or inputting their body measurements to try on clothes before buying online. They were able to create 3D models using the MCP server and Copilot. I haven't tried these features myself yet. No, I don't think that's really an MCP server thing. Because I guess, again, this is why I was saying the kind of scenario that I'm building here is very, very contrived. Like, think about an MCP server as a way of extending the capabilities of an AI agent. But if you were working with an agent where you wanted it to have capabilities of like generating those models or things like that, then sure, an MCP server could be the appropriate way. You'd probably want to do that with some kind of API, so then you can have other mechanisms of interacting. But I kind of think of MCP servers as just an entry point to kind of doing something, and they're a way of extending those AI agents. So not necessarily. Just because I've used 3D kind of approaches for the game, I wouldn't say it's necessarily, the way to kind of go. Right, let's see if that fixed it. Oop. Need to go and rerun that. What do you think of a concept that will give creation back to creators? I'm not sure of the question, Louis. Shivam, working on a real-time threat detection system inspired from IDs. Interesting. Vibe coding, yeah, kind of Iman. Connection running could help you out. Blah, blah, blah. There we go. Oh. Oh no, that was just the server starting up, wasn't it? Right. Not quite Copilot, not quite. And this is why I like kind of using Playwright, because then it would be able to kind of see the change that it's made and recognize that it hasn't quite worked correctly. But because it thinks the main browser is the one that I've got the stream open on right now, so you can't use Playwright at the moment. So, or can we? Is there a... No. I'm not going to risk that. But anyway, this is where context is important, because I'm kind of saying I want to like flip it on its axis and then lower the Y, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, you can see the point there. Tell you what, folks, I think we'll carry on with actions next time. Or maybe, 3D rock, paper, scissors, possibly. Yeah, because the voice is definitely not holding out a ton. I can really feel it. So we'll have a bit of a shorter one today, but we will be back later. We will have... no, you are absolutely correct, Marco, by the way. There is a headless browser with Playwright. You are 100% correct. I think the thing I wanted to show, though, which is really fun and really cool, is when you have the Copilot agent mode up on one side, the browser up on the other, and you can kind of see it going, right, I'm going to navigate to this page now, and the page changes, and I'm not doing anything. And it's just so magical. It's honestly brilliant. Really, really brilliant. It's really one of those kind of core combinations that I find myself using when I'm doing things like this now, like UI kind of dev. Because I'm definitely not the world's best UI dev by any means. I am functional, is what I will say. Yeah, it's a fun combination. But anyways, yes, going back, there will be another stream later today, 2 p.m. Eastern. So take a look at that with Kadesha, who is amazing and always does some brilliant stuff. So I'm looking forward to that stream. And I believe I'll be back next Thursday, 10:30 a.m. in the UK. So the usual time, usual place. Come along and join us, and we'll carry on with a bit more there. But until then, folks, thank you for joining. Thank you for coming, as always. And until then, stay safe, stay healthy, and we will see you in a future stream. Bye for now, folks.